After 60, the days unfold with a quieter rhythm. Time eases its grip, even as it draws faintly closer, and in the measured silence of morning, a deeper awareness stirs within. The youthful clamor that once filled our lives has softened, gradually replaced by something more profound. A subtle, unhurried wisdom shaped as much by sorrow as by serenity. The world outside changes at its own relentless pace, but the interior landscape expands, awash with memories, longings, and a keen perception of what truly matters. We come to see that what people have dubbed the golden years is a phrase tinged as much with irony as with affection. Age paints with a broad brush, and gold leaf gives way to a subtler patina, resilient, enduring, but not immune to wear. These years are not untouched by loss. Quite the contrary, they are deeply etched with both love remembered and love lost. Sometimes it seems each laugh line is matched by a scar, a spouse's silence at breakfast, a once familiar number now faded on a phone, grandchildren too busy chasing their own beginnings to look back at ours. Yet amidst these shifts, a curious liberation emerges. The roles and identities we've worn so long, parent, partner, provider, gently loosen with time. We stand at the edge of who we were, acutely aware that the bedrock beneath our feet isn't blood or legacy alone, but something broader and sturdier. We find ourselves searching, not for who or what we've lost, but for what now anchors us, what sees us through the raw and honest hours of being alone with ourselves. Purpose emerges as the first immeasurable pillar. It springs not from resume or accolades, but from the quiet conviction that life, even now, teems with meaning. Purpose is the pulse that gets us out of bed in the morning. It is the work of our hands, the joy we find in nurturing a tomato plant to ripeness or brushing the fur of a stray cat who has chosen us. Purpose may disguise itself in the smallest routines, preparing tea, painting watercolors, fixing broken things, offering a word of encouragement to the young cashier at the store. For those who no longer measure themselves by the productivity of their careers, purpose is found in being present, attentive, and useful in ways no title could define. The heart remains vital, not because of what it once achieved, but because it continues to beat with hope, curiosity, and care. Community, the second pillar, comes into sharper relief as the family landscape changes. Blood ties, once unshakable, can thin with distance and the scattering of generations. In their place, new circles form, sometimes deliberately, sometimes by chance. The lady who shares your bus bench every Tuesday, the group who meets for crossword puzzles at the cafe, the neighbor who shows up with soup when you're not well. These people don't carry your family history, but they witness your present moment with warmth. There is a special kind of kinship among those who choose to linger with us through the ordinariness and unpredictability of late life. Laughter shared during morning walks, shared vulnerability after a fall, or stories swapped during citywide blackouts. These acts of presence become lifelines. In community, acceptance often comes without condition or the heaviness of old baggage. Here, we are seen for who we are now, silvered, perhaps a little slower, but alive with experience and the willingness to connect. Routine, the gentle third pillar, holds steady when the world seems to falter. Change, once exhilarating, now often feels unsettling. After years of managing disruption, the comfort of patterns and predictability is a gift. The daily crossword, the taste of toast and marmalade by a sunlit window, the slow amble to the mailbox. Each act is a gentle assertion that we still have agency. When family plans fall through, When illness intrudes, it's the hum of these simple acts that gives shape to ours and reassures us that some things, at least, are within our control. In routine, we find dignity and restoration, a quiet dialogue with ourselves that says, I am still here, and my life is still worth tending. Faith, or spiritual practice, emerges as perhaps the most mysterious and consoling of the pillars. It's not always found in stained glass or scripture. Sometimes it's only a whisper of surrender to the flow of life and the certainty of our own brevity. We turn inward, more often and with greater candor, seeking comfort in prayer, meditation, or simply the awe of a cloudless sky. Questions of meaning and mortality, once set aside for busier days, now invite contemplative reflection. Faith, in whatever form, offers peace not because it gives easy answers, but because it allows us to rest in the presence of the unknown, to find beauty in letting go. When grief flares or joy surprises, faith roots us in the firm knowledge that our story is part of something endlessly larger, an unfolding, a becoming, perhaps even a gentle return home. Aging beyond 60 is less about winding down than it is about learning to let go of what no longer serves and to treasure what remains. The pillars that support us now aren't always forged from kinship. They are built from the accumulation of small acts, of love extended beyond the family tree, of purpose stitched into the fabric of the everyday, of rituals that cradle us, of spiritual openness to whatever might come next. Each day brings its aches and uncertainties, of that there is no doubt. But there is also the unlooked-for grace in quiet resilience, and in the wisdom that after all the comings and goings, the foundation that truly holds us up is not found outside, but within. Here, as shadows lengthen and light softens, we find the rarest gold, unshakable dignity, gentle humor, and the enduring ability to begin again, no matter our age. In the end, we discover that it is not only blood or memory, but courage, chosen connections, and hope that see us forward with every sunrise, long after 60. Self-compassion, a phrase that sounds so gentle, so soft, yet beneath its surface lies a force both transformative and powerful. After lifetimes spent nurturing others, children, partners, parents, the question quietly arises, when do we nurture ourselves? Self-compassion is not about wallowing in self-pity or excusing our imperfections. Instead, it's the art of treating ourselves with the same tenderness we offer those we love. It means forgiving ourselves for the years passing, for forgetting birthdays or appointments, for not moving as quickly as we once did. It grants us permission to pause, to wrap ourselves in a blanket for a quiet afternoon, to let the tears fall when old memories surface, or simply to giggle at nothing at all. It lets us say no to the busy day, to the relentless demands, and know we are justified, not selfish. When family members get busy, when calls are missed or opinions overlooked, the comfort of self-compassion steps in. It's the supportive hand we hold when nobody else is there, and the quiet voice that reassures us, you are more than your to-do list. You are worthy, now and always. In these moments, we learn that our own kindness nourishes us far deeper than praise or acknowledgement from anyone else ever could. This unwavering internal acceptance is not a luxury. It is the anchor that steadies us for all the days still to come. And then quietly, we begin to contemplate legacy, but not the legacy of possessions or property written on paper or tallied in numbers. Legacy, in its truest sense, is our impact, the memories held by children and friends, the wisdom shared with a neighbor or a grandchild, the warmth left in the heart of a stranger after a chance encounter. Past 60, the urge to make life meaningful is no longer about public achievement, but about private resonance. We ask ourselves, did I listen when someone needed to talk? Am I teaching my granddaughter how yeast makes dough rise, how stories are braided through generations? Did my words ease the loneliness of another soul? Legacy is not measured by inheritance, but by the stories and values we weave into the fabric of those around us. In simple acts, sharing a lesson learned, comforting with a knowing glance, planting flowers along a forgotten path, we broadcast small echoes that ripple outward. The beautiful truth is, every kindness, every wisdom, every moment of genuine presence becomes part of our lasting imprint. We do not need a stage or an audience. The legacy we create each day by living truthfully and lovingly is more powerful, more enduring than anything that can be written in a will. And the best part is, you need no one's permission to start shaping that legacy today. The true surprise as we age is not how much has faded, but how much lingers, memories, clarity, and wisdom. The knees might ache a bit more, laughter lines may deepen, but with each passing year, there is a quiet unveiling. Who really matters? What truly fills us with peace? Which joys are worth holding close? While the world tends to view old age as the ending, those who have lived with depth and courage will tell you a different revelation arrives. These chapters are not about ending, but deepening. They carry a poetry, an honesty, and a freedom unmatched by any other time. Family may sometimes step to the background, not because love disappears, but because life's tides ebb and flow. In their wake, purpose, community, routine, faith, self-compassion, and legacy rise up as pillars, more vital, more steadfast than we'd anticipated. They gather around us, gently whispering, "You are not alone." So, as you journey onward, let this truth take root. Your story is far from finished. The light you carry flickers not with weakness, but with the subtle colors of a sunset. Softer, perhaps, but never cold. There is wonder still ahead. Because perhaps, just perhaps, the best part of your story is still waiting to unfold. What if the best part of your story hasn't even happened yet?